Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brilliant single woman Gil Ramirez had an intense debut night. During the debut broadcasting on ABC, it was uncovered that he had a controlling request given against him by an ex, obviously with all the data that emerged about Lone Rangerous hopeful Devon Strader and his criminal past. The show was likewise rammed for allowing him to escape everyone's notice. Notwithstanding, presently, there is another update that might clear up a little disarray on that part. Continue to peruse to figure out more. Update on Gil Ramirez and the limiting request documented against him. Fans were distraught to figure out that one more challenger inside the unhitched male establishment had a controlling request documented against them. The first was Devon Strader and occurred in 2017. The second was with Gil Ramirez. Nonetheless, the timetables are unique. Creation ought to have gotten the controlling request and earlier capture record of Devon Strader. Be that as it may, they didn't during their broad verifying interaction. Reality Steve gave a report on his day-to-day webcast and uncovered that this was simply awful timing for all interested parties. With Gil, the limiting request was not even documented until June 11th. This was well after individual verifications had been finished and furthermore, simply an issue of days before creation started. Truth be told, Gil was not even mindful the request was documented and allowed. Steve uncovered that Gil was not served the administrative work until August 11th. He knows this on the grounds that the girl of the ex sent him a video of it. He likewise shared that Gil is the athletic chief at Capo Valley Secondary School. The transitory limiting request was dropped. What did the lady affirm? Gil Ramirez was blamed for badgering and following the lady. He purportedly even vowed to propose. Be that as it may, the lady rushed to console everybody there was no actual mischief ever from Gil. What did she blame him for? It was claimed that Gil bothered her for a time of about 14 days. She said, "In spite of telling him to not reach me, come to my home, he connected with me, relatives and companions." It proceeded to say there were 25 endeavors every day through telephone, messages, video. Despite the fact that carries on with an hour away, appeared at puts I regular to defy me consistently. Eventually, the case was dropped. The controlling request was additionally excused. The explanation recorded for the case being excused expressed, "The case is excused without bias for absence of arraignment for absence of administration." Up until this point, Ramirez has not remarked, and he set his Instagram profile to private. The show has said they are further lessening his screen time in the wake of knowing about the charges against him. Do you concur this was simply terrible timing and not creation's issue? Remain tuned for additional updates. Brilliant unhitched female contender Gil Ramirez had something awful from his past spring up during the season debut Wednesday night. While watchers were in the middle of watching Joan Vasos meet every one of the ones who will sentiment her this season, the web was humming with news that Gil had a controlling request against him. Presently, new data has arisen including how ABC intends to deal with the circumstance. Continue to peruse to figure out more. Brilliant single woman contender Gil Ramirez had controlling request against him. Brilliant single girl admirer Gil Ramirez, sadly, made them upset data surface on Wednesday night. The underlying news broke by an Instagram page and was later likewise talked about by Reality Steve. Presently, individuals had the option to reveal extra data about the controlling request. An unavoidable issue everybody has is the reason creation for the show didn't reveal the limiting request during their serious personal investigations. As indicated by a source, when ABC ran the record verification on Gil, it was perfect. How is that possible? That's what an insider said. This documenting happened in the concise period between culmination of our careful foundation examination and thorough checking process, and the start of creation. Now that the news is out there, the insider likewise uncovered that since the news surfaced on the web, creation has further altered his generally restricted screen time and limited him in special resources pushing ahead. What were the subtleties of the request? It was accounted for that the limiting request that was briefly given against Gil Ramirez happened only a couple of days prior to recording was set to start. Gil had supposedly been dating a lady, and they headed out in different directions. In any case, he supposedly wouldn't let her be, so she petitioned for a brief controlling request referring to profound and provocation. The record said, "In spite of telling him to not reach me, come to my home, he connected with me, relatives and companions." The lady kept on saying there were 25 endeavors day to day through telephone, messages, video. Despite the fact that carries on with an hour away, appeared at puts I regular to defy me consistently. She likewise explained that Ramirez never hurt her genuinely. The underlying limiting request was given on June 11th. The principal trial was deferred due to being not able to arrive at Gil. The continuation happened on July 24th when the lady was sworn and testified. Reports proceeded to say, "The case is excused without bias for absence of arraignment for absence of administration." The impermanent controlling request was additionally dropped around then. During the debut, the California inhabitant got a rose from Joan Vasos. Reality Steve says Gil won't be on the show for well before Joan acknowledges she doesn't see a future with him. Joan Vasos is a wonderful lady. However, fans think the brilliant Lone Rangeress editors are going excessively far in eliminating her blemishes. Remain on this page for a brief look at the genuine Joan. Cut from Disney date shows genuine Joan Vasos. Joan Vasos had her initial one-on-one date on season 1 of The Brilliant Single Girl. She went to Disneyland with Chalk Chapel. The protection executive from Kansas is now the fan-#1. His association with Joan just developed during their date, and they shared their most memorable kiss. One unhitched male country watcher took to Reddit with a minor grievance about the season. They shared a TikTok video of Joan from the Disney date. The BN fan stated, "Joan looks substantially more like a lady her age in this unfiltered post from Disney. They built up that cosmetics on thick for the show, and it is really apparent here." After pushback from different watchers, the overpowered added, "I love Joan. I believe she's astonishing. I disdain how they attempt to make her look a lot more youthful while maturing isn't something terrible." The Reddit post got a ton of remarks concurring that ABC is altering out Joan's defects excessively. Look at a portion of the reactions. To be fair, the sort of cameras and expert lighting do a ton. Not just channels. I mean, in certain scenes Chalk was directly up dark. Then the following scene he was red like a tomato and looked wiped out. She actually looks great, yet I understand. Her cosmetics looks cakey or lopsided to me. I haven't been watching this season, so can't address what they're doing on it. However, they channel the 20-something Lone Rangeresses. It was hard to miss that they were sifting Jen, attempting to make every one of us fail to remember what genuine individuals resemble. It's senseless. I truly wish they'd simply restrain the sifting overall, since seeing the genuine her is quite a lot more reviving. I really had similar idea when they showed her on DWTS. She's exquisite in any case, yet wow, Lone Ranger should have extraordinary lighting. I've additionally believed that while watching. Her face looks too impeccably smoothed in many scenes. Truly, I dislike the long hair augmentations. I believe they're excessively. Over-separating television stars may be an issue at ABC. Cleanser fans were confounded recently by Broad Medical Clinic star Michael E. Knight's exceptional change in appearance contrasted with only a couple of months prior. Do you suppose the brilliant single woman editors are taking the cosmetics and channels excessively far with Joan? Sound off in the remarks.